Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mindset Monday. In just a minute, we have Mr. Chris Slavin joining us. If you have not experienced or met Mr. Lavin yet, just know that this man, not only is he a man of after God's own heart, but he's also someone that's done a lot in business. Seven-figure exits, eight-figure business. Like literally, he's really commanding the seas, so to speak, with business. And you get a chance now to dive into his lesson this week. And afterwards, if there's time, you can fire off a couple of questions. So if you've got a question, make sure you stick around for that. With no further delay, let's have Bruce bring him up. Bruce?
And now, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Presenting the master of the real estate deal and entrepreneur champion of the world, Chris, the negotiator Lavin.
I still love that. It's crazy. Everybody, my name is Chris Lavin, and I'd like to talk to you about some of the things that are part of my life on a day-to-day basis when it comes to business, being successful, and keeping my sanity. And the sanity part may still be questioned. But it's about being informed and not distracted. Listen, there's a lot of things going on in the world today. There's the Iranian war. There's so much political tension. There's AI predictions that go viral and make the markets drop. And hey, and let's not forget about the Ukrainian war, right? That's still going on today. And and I'm not going to tell you to ignore it. Listen, this is part of life, and you should be informed. That's not the point. It's the point is what you do after you see it, right? Because right now I'm watching two types of people in the world. There's the one type of person who checks the news, sees what's going on, processes it, right? Some maybe even feel some emotion over it. Then they pray about it. Then they get back to work. They call that investor. They call the broker. They send out an LOI. They show up, right? And then there's the other type of person who checks the news and never leaves. They scroll and refresh, keep hitting, what's happening next, what's happening next. In Florida, especially around this time of year as we enter hurricane season, like the news media likes to grab a hold of people and not let them go. What do I mean by that? Like they now have, it used to be thunderstorm warnings and hurricane warnings and hurricane all this craziness. They've taken it all the way down to tropical storms, and now they have these things called weather events. So if there's this little murmur out in the Atlantic, they start running the news about it. And if it gets into a hurricane warning, my gosh, they're on like 24/7, showing the same thing over and over again. And people are locked in on it. Listen, being informed about stuff takes minutes, but being distracted takes your whole day away. And worst of all, distraction is not free. It costs you the opportunity that God has put right in front of you. I happen to think it's the other side pulling you away. God opens an opportunity for you, and you get distracted by something going on, and you go and do it, and you don't do what you're supposed to do. I've seen it happen to people all around me, like investors who stopped raising because they were distracted, students who stopped making progress because they were focused on stupid. It has nothing to do with the market and everything to do with your focus. Meanwhile, the people who stay informed but stay disciplined, well, those are the people that are using that information to go out and build, move, and make things happen. Don't let these things take you down the road of utter uselessness. The other thing too is I see a lot of people using these emotional, high tension, high emotion stuff almost as an addiction, that to stay hyped up, but also to keep from doing what they're supposed to be doing that they don't want to do, making that phone call that's uncomfortable, talking to the investor that you didn't want to talk to. So here's what's going on. Information is a tool. Distraction is a trap. It's an absolute trap. You don't have to choose between caring about the world and building your future, but you do have to be honest about which is running your day. If you're spending more time consuming than creating, that's not awareness, that's avoidance. You're absolutely avoiding what you want to do. And Scripture backs this up with Psalms 46:10. You know which one that is, right? Be still and know that I am God. So here's what I'm trying to tell you. You've got to build structure into your day, into your life, so that you can get the things accomplished that you want to accomplish. You can be informed in 25, 30 minutes a week. Hey, that's why we created the Opportunity Zone show on Tuesdays at 3 o'clock. We do that show in 25 to 30 minutes, and we cover all kinds of news and finance and everything that affects multifamily real estate and life in general, right? Not just the real estate, but life, how your day-to-day life. But anything more than that, and you're just being distracted. The world will always give you a reason to stop. Don't take it. Like, listen, don't take the bait. So here's what I'd like for you to do. Set a time limit. 15 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, looking at the news and current events, checking the stocks, that kind of thing. Give yourself time to be informed. But before and after that, make sure you're focused on life, on real life, the things that are going to move you ahead in the world. Protect your peace. This is huge. That noise, that news, that negative stuff with stuff going on the other side of the world can really get in your head and turn you into a stress pot, just stressed out and just wound up. So start every morning with what moves your life forward, with positive things. So check the headlines, then check your priorities, follow through with those, and start every morning with what moves you forward. For me, it's prayer and meditation. Every morning I get up, ask God what he wants me to do today, and I ask him to make me man enough to do it, and then I ask him to take me out of the way so that his glory is reflected in all of the things that I accomplish on a daily basis. Thank you all for listening.
Beautiful, Chris. Thank you. Hey, you got time for some questions?
Sure.
Hey, and everyone listening to this, who would put a 1 in the chat if you'd like to be able to call in during this segment.
Oh, no.
If you'd like to be able to call in and chat with Chris and ask direct, put a 1 in the chat. I'm curious. And this is the time when you can start loading in your questions. I had a question. You got ones coming in right now, Chris. So if you've got a question, go ahead and type it in the chat. Today, we don't have a phone set up for this, but we're thinking about setting up a call-in feature so that we can actually do some calls with Chris live. All right, Chris, first one. How do you manage time for Chris when you're juggling the business and Home Invest, your other business and Home Invest?
So, there's not a lot of time for Chris right now because beyond the two businesses, which are full-time jobs, I also have a wife that I love and adore who only wants to spend time with me. That's like all she asks out of life. But then I also have a lot of mentoring going on. I work with a lot of guys that are struggling in life, that maybe have taken a wrong turn in life and trying to get back on course. So I spend a lot of time doing that, and I tend to come last. On Saturdays and Sundays, I like to play pickleball for an hour, and I like to play pickleball in the morning, but I have been unable to because of a problem with my foot. So basically right now, my life is not as balanced as it should be, and I'm working on getting that corrected. There's not a lot of time for Chris. Yeah, but that's okay. There's a lot of reward in the things that I do on a daily basis, so that's good enough for me.
Chris, how is the best way to get multifamily brokers to put us at the top of the text list so they prioritize us, they bring deals to us first?
That's super simple. On the very first phone call, when they answer the phone, they say, "Hey, I'm blah blah blah." You say, "Today is your lucky day," and they're like, "What?" I am calling you, and now your whole life is going to change because the great Chris Lavin. No, I'm lying. I'm absolutely lying to you. A little bit. The reality is that when they answer the phone, I will do something like that. "Hey, today's your lucky day. You aren't going to believe this. The best looking guy in the world is calling to make your day." And they'll be like, "What?" Or I'll say something like, "Hey, the biggest pain in the butt calling to bother you today. How you doing?" And the reason that I do that is because they saw my number and they just smiled. There was an endorphin release, right? And if you can get them associating your phone number, your call with a little bit of fun, you're at the top of their thought process all the time. They'll answer that phone call with you if you call them a few times. And I know it sounds insane, but I use that kind of humor throughout everything that I do because I want people to enjoy our interaction, even if it's doesn't work out for the best. At least they put a smile on their face and And quite often I'm very upbeat and very positive, and people are attracted to that and will answer the phone to you and think about you.
Chris, the next one says, I want to build a tiny home community. What do you suggest I use as a profit scale? Something like the 1% rule? What would you suggest?
The 1% rule is your rent should be 1% of your monthly rent should be 1% of the acquisition price of the unit. So I'm not, if you're going to build the community, I'm not sure how that applies. Um, That's funny because we were actually looking at a tiny home community several years ago when we started doing this, and it didn't work out because the guy was just a little. I didn't think he want. I don't think he actually wanted to sell it. Is what it came down to. But the cool thing about a tiny home community is low barrier to entry, right? What I would do in that situation is I would literally build the first one, sell it, build the second one, sell it, or if you're doing lease options, build the first one, make it happen, build the second one, make it happen. And when I say build, I mean you usually have those things delivered and set. You have a lot of upfront costs with the engineering and the division of the property. But other than that, I think that tiny home communities could be very valuable and great profit flows. I don't have a lot of advice because I don't have a lot of experience.
Cool. Chris, I'm going to toss this one at you, and then we'll save the rest for next week. So you
Okay.
can end however you want. Um, let me see this one. Okay. I'm afraid of losing money, failing, and making mistakes like a bad deal. What small steps can I take to get over that fear?
First of all, invest in yourself. And then second of all, find a mentor. That's exactly what I did. I got educated, found somebody that was doing or did do what I wanted to do, and then I engaged them to help me do it. That's the best use of funds that I have ever seen, because that education, once you have it, can never be taken away from you again. And there's a lot of fear that goes along with this. First of all, I have no fear about losing or failing, because everything I do, I pray about first. I ask God, listen, God, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And if He tells me yes, and I'm going to say tell me, it's hard to describe it in any other way. God doesn't whisper in my ear or anything like that. But if God tells me yes and moves me forward down a path, then I know that's the path I'm supposed to be on, and I have absolutely no fear. And anybody that knows me knows that. If my will is aligned with God's will, then there's absolutely no fear, and I go at things with a ferociousness that you've never seen before. Yeah, I don't worry about losing the money if that's the path that I'm on. So invest in yourself, find a mentor, latch onto them, pay them whatever they're asking, and move forward down the path. Listen, many of you know that at 14 years old, I was homeless behind a dumpster. And God has blessed me with so many opportunities and so many ways to help positively affect other people's lives that it's so absolutely rewarding and fulfilling. I could never express to you what that feels like inside it. It's absolutely amazing. And if God can do that for me, I know that He can do that for you, because He doesn't love you any more than He loves me, and He doesn't love me any more than He loves you. So pray for a direction, follow the direction that you're given, and go at it with a ferociousness that nobody else has ever seen before. God bless y'all. Thank you. Peace.